Ladies and gentlemen, let me take a moment to speak to the hearts of those who have been carrying the weight of loss, disappointment, or uncertainty. Maybe it's something you've held in silence, the kind of ache that doesn't announce itself to the world but whispers to you when the night is quiet. I want you to know this: your story isn't over. What feels like an ending may be the very moment when restoration begins. Life has a way of stripping us down, doesn't it? We lose things we thought were ours forever: a dream, a relationship, an opportunity. And in those moments, it's easy to believe we'll never feel whole again. But let me tell you something I know deep in my spirit: the very essence of life is renewal. This November is your turning point. This is the month when what was taken will be restored in ways you cannot yet imagine. Not just returned as it was, but multiplied, refined, and made even better. The beauty of restoration isn't in going back to what was, it's in moving forward into what's meant to be. Now, restoration doesn't always come in the form we expect. Sometimes it's not the job you lost, but a calling you've ignored. Sometimes it's not the love you let slip away, but the love you're learning to give yourself. And sometimes what's restored isn't the thing itself, but the strength you gain from having endured its absence. There's a divine rhythm to life, a way the universe balances itself. For every season of loss, there is a season of growth. For every tear, there's a joy waiting to rise. And when the time comes and that restoration begins, it doesn't come in halves. It doesn't trickle in like a slow stream. It flows like a mighty river, filling every crack, every empty place, every longing corner of your soul. But hear me when I say this: you have a role to play. Restoration isn't a passive act. It requires faith, yes, but it also demands action. You have to prepare yourself to receive what's coming. You have to open your hands, your heart, and your mind. You have to believe that you are worthy of the blessings headed your way, no matter how much you've struggled, no matter how far you feel you've fallen. So this November, I want you to declare something bold. I want you to say, what's mine is on its way. What I've lost will be restored. Speak it with conviction. Say it like you already believe it. And then live in alignment with that belief. Start sowing the seeds of what you want to see bloom. Make the calls. Take the chances. Show up for yourself in ways you never have before. When you align your actions with your faith, you create a space for miracles to happen. And let me remind you, restoration doesn't mean returning to what was. It means stepping into what's greater. Sometimes we get so attached to the past, to the way we thought things should be, that we block the blessings trying to come through. This November, let go of the vision of what you think restoration looks like. Trust that there is a force greater than you working on your behalf, orchestrating things in a way that will leave you in awe. This is your time. This is your season. You may have lost something, but you are not lost. You may have been knocked down, but you are not defeated. The story of restoration is not about reclaiming what was, but about rising into what will be. And when it happens, and believe me, it will happen, you will stand taller, love deeper, and walk with a light that others cannot ignore. That's the power of restoration. It doesn't just return to you what was, it transforms you in the process. So hold on, stay strong, keep believing, because this November, God will restore what you've lost, and more than that, He will remind you that even in your darkest moments, you were never alone. Your story is still unfolding, and the best chapters are yet to come. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are being prepared for a breakthrough that will make it all make sense. And when it arrives, you'll know it was worth every tear, every trial, every moment of doubt. What you've lost is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a greater restoration. So often in life, we look at loss as the final chapter, the moment when everything unravels and we're left with nothing but the pieces of what once was. It feels permanent, like a door slamming shut, a light going out. But what if that moment of loss wasn't an ending? What if it was simply the turning of a page, the beginning of a chapter you haven't yet read? You see, we're wired to cling to what's familiar, to hold tight to the things we think define us: our jobs, relationships, possessions, and even our dreams. When one of those things slips from our grasp, it's natural to feel like the ground beneath us has crumbled. But the truth is, loss often makes way for something greater, something we couldn't see while we were so busy holding on to what was. Every story worth telling has moments of challenge, heartbreak, and loss. It's those moments that make the victory sweeter, the triumphs more profound. Think about it: if every moment of your life went smoothly, if nothing ever changed or shifted, where would the growth be? Where would the lessons be? Loss strips us of what we thought we needed, but it also makes space for what we truly deserve. When you're in the middle of that moment, it's hard to see. It feels like the storm will never pass, like the emptiness will never be filled. But what if the storm is clearing the way? What if that emptiness is the space being made for something extraordinary to take root? The story of restoration isn't about going back to what was, it's about moving forward into what's meant to be. Sometimes we get so focused on trying to reclaim the past that we miss the beauty of what's ahead. We want the same job back, the same relationship back, the same version of ourselves back, and we think that's the only way to feel whole again. But restoration isn't about replication, it's about transformation. It's about evolving into a version of yourself you've never known, a version that's stronger, wiser, and more resilient because of what you've been through. The things we lose often teach us what truly matters. They refine our priorities, shape our character, and reveal a strength we didn't know we had. Sometimes the loss you're mourning is the very thing that's positioning you for your breakthrough. You might not see it now, but there's a divine orchestration at play. The things that didn't work out, the doors that closed, the paths that were blocked, they're all part of a bigger plan. And while it's hard to trust in that plan when you're in the middle of the storm, the beauty of restoration is that it always comes at the right time, in the right way. It doesn't always look like what you imagine, but it's always exactly what you need. Maybe the job you lost was clearing the way for a career that aligns with your passion. Maybe the relationship that ended was making space for a love that's deeper, truer, and more fulfilling. Maybe the dream you had to let go of was pointing you toward a purpose that's even greater. Loss forces us to confront who we are without the things we thought defined us. It asks us to look inward, to find our strength, our faith, and our resilience. It strips away the noise and distractions, leaving us face to face with our true selves. And in that space, we discover what we're truly made of. We learn to lean on our faith, to trust in the unseen, and to believe in the power of restoration. Because restoration isn't just about getting back what you lost, it's about becoming someone who can handle what's next. It's about preparing you for the blessings that are on their way, blessings that are bigger and better than you could have imagined. It's easy to feel defeated in the face of loss, to believe that your best days are behind you. But let me tell you, the best days are ahead. The chapters you haven't yet written are filled with possibilities you can't even begin to fathom. The restoration that's coming isn't just about replacing what was, it's about renewing your spirit, reigniting your passion, and redefining your purpose. It's about giving you a story that's worth telling, a testimony that will inspire others, and a life that's richer, deeper, and more meaningful because of what you've been through. Restoration starts with a shift in perspective. It starts with believing that what you've lost is not the end, but the beginning. It starts with letting go of the idea that your value is tied to what you have or what you've achieved. Your value is inherent. It's not defined by your job title, your relationship status, or the size of your bank account. It's defined by who you are, by the love you give, the impact you make, and the strength you show in the face of adversity. When you begin to see loss not as a failure, but as an opportunity for growth, you open yourself up to the possibilities of restoration. There's a beauty in surrendering to the process and trusting that what's meant for you will find its way to you. It doesn't mean you sit back and wait for life to happen. It means you do your part, you show up, you put in the work, you stay open to the possibilities, but you also trust that there's a bigger picture at play. You trust that the universe or God or whatever higher power you believe in has a plan for your life that's greater than anything you could have imagined. And you trust that restoration is part of that plan. Restoration isn't always immediate. It takes time, patience, and faith. It takes believing in the process, even when you can't see the outcome. It takes holding on to hope, even when the path ahead feels uncertain. But the beauty of restoration is that it's never too late. No matter how much you've lost, no matter how far you've fallen, there's always a way forward. There's always the possibility of renewal, of growth, and of transformation. And when restoration comes, it doesn't just bring back what was taken. It brings back more joy, more peace, more abundance, and more purpose. Loss doesn't have to define you. It doesn't have to be the thing that breaks you. It can be the thing that builds you, the thing that shapes you into the person you're meant to be. It can be the catalyst for change, the spark that ignites a new chapter in your life. When you begin to see loss as the starting point for restoration, you reclaim your power, you take control of your narrative, you become the author of your story, and you write a story that's worth telling. Because what you've lost is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of a greater restoration. The process of restoration often starts with letting go of what was and trusting in what's to come. Letting go is one of the hardest things we face in life. We hold on to people, memories, situations, and expectations because they've become part of our identity. They feel familiar, safe, and even when they no longer serve us, they still provide a sense of comfort. But restoration can't begin while we're still clinging to the past. Holding on too tightly keeps our hands closed, leaving no room to receive what's waiting for us. It's in the act of releasing that we create space for renewal and transformation. Letting go isn't about forgetting or dismissing what happened, it's about releasing the grip it has on you. It's acknowledging the hurt, the loss, or the disappointment, but choosing not to let it define you. It's about understanding that the past is a chapter in your story, but it's not the entire book. Too often we get stuck in the narrative of what was, replaying the same scenes over and over and over in our minds, wishing for a different outcome. But dwelling on what can't be changed only keeps us trapped. Letting go is an act of courage. It's deciding to move forward, even when the path ahead feels uncertain. Trusting in what's to come requires faith, not just in a higher power, but in yourself and your ability to navigate life's changes. Trust doesn't mean you won't have doubts or fears. It means you move forward despite them. It's believing that life has seasons, and just as the earth renews itself after winter, so too can your life after a season of loss. Restoration is a process, and it often doesn't look the way we expect. It may come in small, quiet moments or in bold, life-changing events. It may take time, requiring patience and perseverance, but every step you take toward trust brings you closer to the life that's waiting for you. When we let go, we release not only the external things that no longer serve us, but also the internal burdens we carry: resentment, regret, anger, and fear. These emotions weigh us down, keeping us anchored to the past. They take up space in our hearts and minds, leaving little room for the peace and joy that restoration brings. Letting go of these internal burdens is an act of self-liberation. It's choosing freedom over pain, healing over hurt, and hope over despair. It's not easy, and it doesn't happen overnight, but each step you take toward releasing those burdens brings you closer to restoration. Trusting in what's to come requires a shift in mindset. It's about focusing on possibility rather than loss, on what you can create rather than what's been taken away. It's about believing that your best days are ahead, even when the present feels heavy. This kind of trust isn't passive, it's active. It requires you to show up for yourself, to take steps toward the life you want, even when the path isn't clear. It's about aligning your actions with your belief that something better is coming. Restoration often begins in the quiet moments, the spaces where you least expect it. It might be a sudden realization that you're stronger than you thought, or a small opportunity that leads to something greater. It might be the kindness of a stranger, a word of encouragement, or a moment of clarity that shifts your perspective. These moments are the seeds of restoration, and when you trust in the process, you begin to nurture those seeds, allowing them to grow into something beautiful. Letting go also means surrendering control. It's recognizing that there are things in life you can't change and choosing to focus on what you can. It's about releasing the need to have all the answers and trusting that the answers will come in time. This kind of surrender isn't about giving up, it's about letting go of the struggle and allowing life to unfold. It's about trusting that there's a greater plan at work, even when you can't see it. The process of restoration is deeply personal. It looks different for everyone because we all have unique journeys and experiences. For some, restoration might mean finding a new sense of purpose after a loss. For others, it might mean rebuilding relationships, rediscovering joy, or reclaiming parts of themselves they thought were lost. Whatever restoration looks like for you, it begins with the decision to let go and trust. There's a freedom that comes with letting go, a lightness that allows you to move forward with greater ease. It doesn't mean you forget the lessons of the past. It means you carry them with you in a way that empowers rather than burdens you. It means you honor what was while embracing what's to come. Trusting in what's to come means believing that life is always evolving, always moving toward growth and renewal. Restoration isn't about going back to the way things were. It's about stepping into something new. It's about allowing life to surprise you, to bring you opportunities and blessings you couldn't have imagined. When you let go of the past, you open yourself up to the present and the future. You create space for new possibilities, new connections, and new experiences. You allow yourself to grow, to heal, and to thrive. Trust is the bridge between letting go and restoration. It's what carries you from the pain of loss to the joy of renewal. It's what allows you to move forward with hope, even when the path ahead is uncertain. Trust isn't always easy, especially when life has given you reasons to doubt, but it's essential for restoration. It's the foundation on which new beginnings are built. The process of restoration often challenges us to let go of our expectations, to release the idea of how things should be and embrace how they are. It asks us to find beauty in the unexpected, to see the gifts in the challenges we face. It requires us to be present, to find gratitude in the small moments, and to trust that each step we take is leading us closer to where we're meant to be. Letting go and trusting in what's to come is a journey, one that requires patience, resilience, and faith. It's not always linear. There will be moments of doubt, setbacks, and days when the past feels too heavy to release. But each time you choose to let go, each time you choose to trust, you take a step closer to restoration. You take a step closer to the life that's waiting for you, a life that's filled with possibility, hope, and joy. Restoration is a process that transforms not just your circumstances, but also your perspective. It changes the way you see yourself and the world around you. It teaches you that loss isn't the end, it's a new beginning. It reminds you of your resilience, your strength, and your ability to create a life that's meaningful and fulfilling. Letting go and trusting in what's to come is an act of self-love. It's a way of honoring yourself in your journey, of choosing to move forward rather than staying stuck in the past. It's a way of saying to yourself and the world that you deserve peace, happiness, and restoration. It's a way of opening yourself up to the possibilities that life has to offer. Trusting in what's to come means believing in the power of renewal, in the idea that life is always evolving, always moving toward growth and transformation. It means believing that even in the midst of loss, there's a greater plan at work, one that's leading you toward a brighter future. It means believing in yourself and your ability to navigate life's challenges with grace and strength. Faith and action work together. Prepare yourself to receive the blessings already heading your way. Faith at its core is about believing in the unseen, the intangible, and the yet to come. It is the quiet confidence that what you hope for, pray for, and work for is on its way. But faith alone without action is like a seed left unplanted. It holds the potential for greatness, but without the nurturing hands of effort and intention, it remains dormant. The blessings you desire are often waiting for you, but they require your participation, your willingness to step forward and make space for them in your life. Faith is not passive. It's not just sitting and waiting for good things to happen. It's an active energy that moves you toward your goals and dreams. Faith drives you to prepare for what you believe is coming, even when there's no tangible evidence. It's the belief that if you do your part, if you work, grow, and prepare, the universe or God will meet you halfway. Action is the proof of faith. It's the tangible expression of your belief in what's possible. When you act on faith, you're saying, I trust that my efforts are not in vain. I trust that my preparation will align with the blessings heading my way. Preparation is a key element in aligning faith with action. Imagine standing in front of an open door, but you've brought nothing with you to walk through it. The door is an opportunity, but it's up to you to be ready to step into what's on the other side. Preparing yourself means cultivating the skills, mindset, and environment that will allow you to thrive when the blessings arrive. It's about doing the work before the reward is visible, trusting that your labor will not be wasted. Preparation also involves letting go of what no longer serves you. To receive new blessings, you must create space for them. This might mean releasing old habits, fears, or even relationships that hinder your growth. Holding on to what's familiar can feel safe, but it can also keep you stuck. Faith calls for trust in the unknown, in the idea that what's ahead is greater than what you're leaving behind. It's about clearing the clutter physically, emotionally, and spiritually to make room for what's meant for you. Taking action in faith means being intentional about how you spend your time and energy. It's about aligning your daily choices with the life you envision. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to the blessings you're preparing to receive. Faith without action can feel like wishful thinking, but when you combine the two, you create momentum. You signal to the universe, to God, and to yourself that you're ready to step into the life you desire. Sometimes preparation requires patience. It's not about rushing or forcing things to happen. It's about trusting the timing while staying committed to the process. It's easy to get discouraged when results don't come as quickly as you'd like, but faith reminds you that the delay doesn't mean denial. The work you're putting in, the lessons you're learning, and the growth you're experiencing are all part of the preparation. They're shaping you into the person who can handle and sustain the blessings when they arrive. Faith and action also require a mindset of gratitude and expectation. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already present in your life. It creates a foundation of abundance, reminding you that you're already blessed in many ways. When you approach life with a grateful heart, you're more open to recognizing and receiving the blessings that come your way. Expectation, on the other hand, is the belief that more is coming. It's the anticipation of good things, the readiness to embrace opportunities when they arise. Part of preparing yourself to receive blessings is surrounding yourself with the right people. The company you keep influences your mindset, energy, and perspective. Seek out individuals who uplift, inspire, and challenge you to grow. Their encouragement can strengthen your faith, and their support can motivate you to take action. At the same time, be mindful of those who drain your energy or instill doubt. Your journey requires a community that believes in your potential and cheers you on as you move forward. Faith and action also demand resilience. The path to receiving blessings is rarely a straight line. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. Resilience is what keeps you moving, even when the journey feels difficult. It's the determination to keep preparing, keep believing, and keep taking steps forward no matter what challenges arise. Each challenge you overcome strengthens your faith and sharpens your skills, preparing you even more for the blessings ahead.